before week 1 kicks off, we want to make sure you get our season predictions for some of the end of season awards. Who do you have for special teams player of the year?
Devontae Dedmon.
Okay.
Started off preseason and making a lot of noise. I'm a big fan. He runs fast, obviously, but he runs really strong. He's a powerful runner. If you don't have your full body and your pads, he is going to break that tackle. For that reason, Devontae Dedmon, for me, special teams player of the year.
I was thinking real hard about going return or as a return winner and having Leak win again. However, I do think he's in a new situation. I think he might be utilized more on offense, which might not leave as much energy just to focus on specials. I think there is going to be, though, some continuity on what we saw from a year ago, and that is the Argos returner is going to win this award. I think it's going to be Jerian Grant. As a returner, this is one of the few times where I might be more qualified to talk about something than you. People underestimate the value of that group blocking for you and how they can make or break a return game. And so the fact that you got continuity in terms of the special teams coordinator, they've actually brought in some good depth players who will have an impact on specials. I like Grant to have a big year. Grant is great about being that 200-meter runner where he runs wide and gets to the wall, and once that wall is set up, he can get up the sideline. Also great breaking tackles on the way there. Defensive player of the year. Who you got?
Defensive player of the year, I'm going to go with a guy who, he said to me multiple times, he's like, just watch out for me this year. This is the guy they call Flo. But this is a guy who's hungry. This is a guy who's versatile. This is a guy who's powerful and has everything that you would need out of a defensive end. And I think he's going to make a lot of noise this year as well. Folarin Orimolade.
I like it. I just worry that when they have a team meeting at the quarterback, he's going to have to share a couple sacks, might get beat there because he's got Jake on that D-line as well that's going to be taken.
I actually think it's going to help him. It's going to benefit him because the guys on the offensive line are going to say, hey, look, we got to watch this guy. And we got to watch that guy. At some point or another, Flo's going to have a one-on-one. And when that happens, he's going to win more than he's going to lose.
I have another former teammate of yours winning Defensive Player of the Year. That's Petey Pablo, Jamal Peters. He's not going to have the Bo Levi Mitchell stimulus package where he gets to pick off Bo a bunch of times in one game. But I do think actually they're going to be great teammates because they're going to be able to talk about the game, talk about what offenses are doing, and being in that Tiger Cat organization with a DB as a coordinator, with a DB as a president, I think we're going to see his game, if there is another level, get there. And remember, last year he was coming into the season, coming off of a long off season in NFL camps. So the fact that he's had a full off season to just train and get healthy, I think he's going to ball out. Coach of the year. Who you got?
Coach of the year, I'm going to go with my former coach, my former defensive coordinator. I think they're going to have a really good season. Again, we're talking about a guy who is a player's coach, a guy who understands the locker room as, I want to say he's probably the youngest coach out of all the head coaches. And for that reason, I think Coach Corey Mace is going to be Coach of the Year this year.
I have Coach Corey Mace as well. Coach of the Year, in many ways, is a narrative award. It is not so much who had the best year coaching. It's who did the most with what they have. And the fact that I think the Riders are going to take a real jump and he is the new denominator in the scenario, I think that helps him certainly. He's going to have that narrative. He's going to bring good vibes to the team. Corey Mace bringing the Riders back to relevancy is going to get him Coach of the Year. Most outstanding Canadian of the year for you is going to be who?
This is a good one. I had actually some receivers in mind when I'm thinking about this position, DB. I'm thinking about the guys out there in Montreal, and Tyson Philpott and Keon Grant. I like those two guys, but I switched my focus on the Riders. Receivers. Schaefer Baker, in my opinion, is going to be the guy that's going to really thrive in that offense. MLS will make the big plays, but they will continuously rely on Kean Schaefer Baker. And in my opinion, he most likely will get it this year as most outstanding Canadian.
When you were in high school, did you do the SATs? Did you do all those SAT prep courses? Did you take the test?
I did not.
One of the things they said is the obvious answer is generally the right answer. Don't spend time overthinking it, overanalyzing it. If there's an answer that jumps out to you, take your HB2, fill out that letter in the Scantron, and keep it moving. That's what I'm going to do. Because the obvious answer is the right answer. It's Brady Oliveira. And not only is he going to win MOC, he's going to walk out with 2 pieces of hardware because he's going to be the MOP.
Wow.
The most outstanding player. He might leave the weekend with 4 because he might go to the Grey Cup and win MOC and MVP there as well.
Nick, producer Nick, you gotta keep this on record because we gotta see. Listen, I would love for you to be right.
Is that out of the question?
You know what?
Is that out of the question?
You know what? That is not an outrageous statement. I will say that. That's how good this man is. But go on, finish your soliloquy.
No, that's it. He is the front runner for me. He's the best Canadian in the league. Somebody needs to prove they're at his level. So he's the front runner for MOC, obviously barring health, because he's going to have the opportunity. And then if the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are the team that we expect them to be, he's going to be in that MOP conversation once again. I would argue that his main competition might be his own quarterback. His own quarterback may be used a little bit more strategically because their backup quarterback is a factor. I think all these roads point to Brady Oliveira taking home both trophies.
My nomination for the most outstanding player this year in the West, Vernon Adams Jr.
I can hear that.
In my opinion, he is prime. This is his time. This is his year. He's waited a long time for this, and I think that he's prepared. He's poised. He is confident in an offense where he is comfortable as well, and he's fallen short enough. Because I truly believe, DB, that you need to have enough adversity in order to actually become that champion. Vernon Adams Jr., you better get that MOP this year.
Don't try to get back in his good books.
Listen, I say what I got to say when I got to say it.
Well, just because I won't even say caping for him. I've been putting out.
You didn't just now.
Well, you're the one who said, how many weeks ago you said he was under the most pressure?
That has nothing to do with how he's going to react. The pressure is the reality of the moment and the situation.
No, the reality is he's a made man. Now he just needs to go and execute.
And that is my point.
No, that's my point. You're stealing my point.
No.
Because Vernon feels this type of way that you're disrespecting him.
Pressure has nothing to do with how he's going to perform and and the awards and accolades he's going to receive. Pressure has nothing to do with him.
He doesn't have pressure because he doesn't have anything to prove. He's proven, is my point. So I agree that he could certainly win this award.
You can be proven and still have pressure. Let me tell you that. You can definitely be proven and still have pressure and overcome the pressure by winning. A lot of the times when you do say, hey, this guy is one of the greatest of all time, it's because we talk about the pressure that they were able to overcome.
What are the consequences to the pressure? Is he going to lose his job? Is he going to be out the league? What are the consequences? He's proven.
There's going to be lots of questioning. There's going to be lots of talk about him.
Not by people who watch
and there's expectations laid before him based on the previous seasons.
Not by people who watch the end zone cut. There won't be any questions.
You really think that he's coming into this season and not thinking about, man, this has got to be a big year?
I think he comes.
You don't think so?
I think he comes to every season thinking it has to be a big year.
There's more reasons to it in this season. One, he's fallen short twice to the same team. Thirdly, the big game is right in his backyard.
How many years did you play in the league?
Myself?
Yes.
11 years.
How many championships you win?
1.
So you fell short 10 times.
I wasn't a quarterback 1, 2.
Only one starting quarterback can win every year.
Fair.
So, I mean, to me, the BC Lions season this year is not a referendum on Vernon Adams Jr. It's a great opportunity for him, but he, to me, has put enough on the CV to be like, no, he's an elite quarterback. He is worthy of being in the conversation for MOP. if he loses by 1 point to Zach Caleros in the Western Final or Cody Fajardo in the final, it's not a failure on Vernon Adams Jr. He's proven, which is why he was extended, and he's going to be, barring something unforeseen, the Lions QB for the future. I think he's at that level. So I think he's a made man. I don't have any questions about him moving into this season. Last year, when he was their full-time starter for the first time, sure, but I think he's reached that level where he is one of the biggest stars we have in the game.
Fair enough. He definitely is one of the biggest stars in the game. And this is the reason why I truly believe this is his year.
Well, we agree on that. I think this is going to be a big year for him.